Hey, everybody, this is Mac. Thanks for coming to the Veterans Achieve Business Systems Mastermind, held every Tuesday at 11 o'clock Mountain Time. Today, we have the pleasure of having Chris Irving with us. He is the Chief Strategy Officer, if I remember correctly,
Yes, sir.
Chris, tied in with Synergist. Um, he's only going to be able to speak probably about a few of the types of things he does because they do so many different wonderful things. Business tools are a great connection for anybody trying to survive in business. And Chris, I'm going to let you take it over from here.
Sure. Yeah. So thanks for having me on, Mac. Appreciate it. It's good to see you and see everyone else here. Yeah, we've got several things that we do. That's true. We have like really four different avenues or four different paths that we focus on. One is staffing. So Vic, good to see you. I'm familiar with Activate Work and I know what you guys are working on. So that's really cool. Um, and another is helping companies scale and grow through marketing. We also provide our team. So that's the second. The third is we provide our team as like the back office for companies so that business owners can get out of their own way. A lot of people get stuck, right? They spend 80% of their time working in the business and trying to fix every little thing, and they want it, it's their baby, and we get it. We do it sometimes too. Everyone does that. So we try to help them to get out of their own way so that they can focus on the growth path of the business instead of every little thing in the weeds. And then the fourth thing that we do is we work with nonprofits to help them get grant funding. And with that money, we help them to grow as well and scale. So all of this is tied together. It all comes together as this beautiful package because like our operations team on the back end is helping to help businesses to grow in ways of like getting out of their own way. Our marketing efforts help to bring new clients to them so they can focus on growth. Staffing also helps to reduce their costs because we do that through international staffing. So it's outsourced. It's all, none of them, no one's in America. They're typically in the Philippines, Costa Rica, if they need Spanish speaking, but mostly in the Philippines. They're amazing, amazing staff. We have 15 of them on our staff right now. And we hold them with us so that you don't have to think about it. So on the staffing side, the great thing there is a lot of companies spend a lot of money on people. It's like the most expensive thing that you have is your staff. And so, and it should be because those are the people that are running the everything, they're running the whole business, right? So what we do with that is we actually employ Filipinos mostly, keep them on our staff, manage them for you, track their hours, pay their payroll. We take care of all the things. They stay with us. They're our staff, and then you can just purchase hours of their time, which makes it more accessible for business owners because now you can, I need a bookkeeper for 5 hours and I need this person, I need an admin for 20 hours a month and I need different people for different things. You can purchase hours of the team instead of having to staff them and keep them yourself. So that's the model there. And then on the operations side, we use a lot of AI, tons of AI to help streamline processes. So that's a little bit about what we do. And I know, Mac, I think you had a few questions for me. I probably may have answered some of it already, but I guess up to you if you want to open for questions first before we do that.
Yeah, well, I'll start. One of the things that I had noticed, and I met your associate Ryan Van Ornum originally, then you and I got together. I think it was the last conference, and I realized that you were as much of a maniac as I am. So we were able to, walk the path together.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we're seeing all these staffing options. Like everybody that doesn't have a job decides that they're a VA, and that I a couple of years ago used a company because I was trying to upgrade what I was doing, and that, but I wasn't getting the same VA. And then they started doing campaign posts without approval. And quite honestly, I got into a little trouble with our friends at Facebook because they said I was making promises that, weren't proven and stuff. And it was on posts that went out. How do you handle that? If I do something with you and Sophia is who you put me with, am I always going to have Sophia? Is there going to be Sophia today, Maria tomorrow, Elizabeth the day after? Maybe somebody else slips in later, in that, or do I get to develop a relationship?
Good question. So depending on who you're utilizing on the team for what services, your admin won't change. It's always the same person. They're trained around everything you do. We create standardized operating procedures as well. So like there's SOPs behind everything. That way that anyone that is working for you has like they have instructions basically of what to do. If for some reason Sophia either quits, gets hit by a bus, something happens and she's gone, we can bring someone in to backfill her position fairly quickly because they have instructions of what to do. So instead of having to start over with training, you now have somebody that has a pretty decent idea about what to do. We actually use AI for that. We have an internal bot that talks to our staff and trains them about your process. So you tell us what you want, and our bot trains our people, which is kind of cool. And so no, you won't get people that switch out. But if let's say you're running a social media campaign and we're doing that for you, and then you also have an admin and a bookkeeper, those are going to be 3 different people because everyone has a skill set and we hire for skill sets. We don't hire someone that does everything because that doesn't work. We hire a bookkeeper that knows how to run books. We hire an admin that's going to focus on just that. And we hire a social media manager that understands how to create content and get people's attention. And so you'll have 3 people on your team and they will be your 3 people and it won't change. So you'll have those same 3 people. If there's a reason to switch, if you want us to change them, we can do that. But typically it stays and we haven't had anyone asked to switch out yet. All of our staff is great. So.
Very cool. What would you say? And I know that you guys deal with a lot of new companies, and that we all have our specialty, and that with what we do. What is it that you would say are some of the most important factors for somebody that is looking at bringing on other people? It's a scary thing. Do I let people that don't know me into my world, business wise? The security implications, do they know too much? Are they going to take my idea and run with it on their own? How do you deal with that?
Interesting. The last point is very interesting. So I'll touch on that first because I think it's really very interesting to me at least. So one of the things that I thought the same thing about when we bring in the international team, they're going to have all this like IP or these ideas from these Americans. Like, hey, this is working. We're making money, right? They're not good at implementing things without direction. That's what we're finding. So like the majority of our staff would never, ever try to do this on their own. They don't have the motivation. They need to be told how to do it. I don't want to make it sound bad, but they like that. They like the direction. So I'm not worried about them running with anyone's ideas. I don't think that's an issue at all. I think most business owners are more afraid of the former you mentioned. Like, I can't give up control. It's hard to be like, this is like I said before, this is my company. It's my baby. I've started it from nothing. It's in its infancy, and I do not want anyone to take it to a toddler in their way. I want that to be me, right? And that's really hard to move away from, but it's also impossible to grow if you can't also let other people in. So it's really your path. It's up to you. You can stick here in the infancy mode and stay there for a very long time, or you can have other people come in at a price point that makes sense, right? Within a budget that you can afford to help you grow and expand and become a bigger company. So it just depends on your path. If you want to stay over here and stay small, totally fine. If you want to scale and grow up here, whatever budget you have will help you get there. And our people will come in and take direction from you and do what you ask. They don't do things without your permission, and everything gets approved. So all things go back to the business owner or the team that it would be approving all of the like social media posts, blog posts, videos, everything. Anything that we create marketing wise has to be approved. Any operational strategies, changes goes back to the business owner. This is what we want to do. Do you approve? And then we implement that for them so that they don't have to think about it.
Okay. You spurred something else. You talked about creating video. I
Sure.
was in that arena for 50 years on the equipment side. And
Yeah.
are you actually gathering content? Are you taking it
We're
off
not
of
we're
AI?
not filming. No, we're not filming. We're not a production crew. So we're not doing any filming at all. What we do is we take your raw footage and we can edit that for you using Premiere, using After Effects, all the best softwares. Our video editing team is amazing at what they do. We can splice together footage. We can use B-roll. We can put it backing tracks, captions, whatever you need on that to make it professional looking. All your bottom thirds with all of your titles of people's names and all of the things. Anything you've seen on a commercial, we can do any of those things as well. And we're taking it to we follow the trends and what's happening in the industry right now. It's AI is what's big right now. So instead of filming and hiring a crew and paying $20,000 or $50,000 to film a 30-second spot, we actually create that with AI. It comes out beautifully. We can still edit it the same way. And we're creating commercials for law firms. We've got commercials right now we're creating for mechanics, several different companies that for an online music community that has over 1 million followers. So we're creating these cool videos and putting those out to our clients. And there's a lot of iteration with that because it's very subjective, right? When you go to create a video, it's out of, we have nothing and now we have something. It's like, okay, but that's not how I envisioned it. So there's a lot of iteration with it, but it's a decent price point. Like it's not much. It starts about $200 per video, fully edited. That's a 15-second Facebook or social media spot. 197, we'll create a cool video. Whatever your imagination can do, whatever you want to tell us. We have one where a lady falls out of a UFO and it's like, rough day, come play this fun trivia game. Like that's one of the videos. So we could literally create anything.
Well, I've been a believer that imaging is extremely important. I went through, everything was film when I got started, and then we got into digital. Then with the development of the social platforms like Facebook, video content became much more than print or single photos.
Yep.
So much more that a message that somebody can pass along. And I think of my buddy Jim. He's making all these products, and he can make take a photo of one of his products. But if he makes a 30 to 60-second video and actually talks about the value of, as I come to say, give people a headache and sell them the aspirin concept. But, we can do that easier with video content than we can a picture.
Yeah, for sure. Video is like, I think it's like 90 something percent. You get 90% more engagement on a video than you will from a photo on social. So it's needed. That content is needed, and content is king, but it's also exploding right now with AI. So a lot of companies are creating content with AI videos, AI everything, right? AI images and videos. So with that, there's about 10x more content being pushed out to the internet right now. Social media is the supply is high for content. The demand is a lot lower. So getting someone to like your post is a lot harder than it used to be. So you have to push a lot of content out if you want the organic side to work. You have to really be doing like daily pushes. It has to be all the time. If you're not posting every single day on whatever platform your people are hanging out at, you're not going to get the brand recognition won't come. One thing I know for sure, though, we at Synergist, we post all the time. If you're following anyone that works for my company or me or any of us at all on any social media, you would see our content's just constant. Our team is always pushing something out. It's multiple times a day at this point. And what we found was on the organic side, we don't get a lot of love. We're not getting a lot of likes. We're not getting a lot of comments. We're not getting a lot of the things that you would used to see pre ChatGPT, pre all of the things that are happening right now. But I was in Orlando and I'm from Denver, right? I was in Orlando for a conference, Mackie mentioned at the beginning of the call last week. And I ran into 3 people that said, "Oh, you work for Synergist? I know that company." And I said, "Great, it's working." I was like, that I was actually like humbled. I was like, wow, Mike, that's crazy. That's cool. Because we're a pretty small company. We're not a big company, right? We've been in business for 9 months. I feel like we're trying to do everything the right way. We're doing our best, but every business goes up and down. We've had our rocky moments. We've had some great strides too. But at the same time, it feels like everyone that's starting their own thing, it just feels like you're like on this path and you're like, you kind of feel like you're in a cave and you got to find your way to the hole, right? Like, how do I get out of this thing? So where we are today is people have heard of us and I'm like, oh, that's great. We're doing the things we should be doing on social to get our name out. People now are starting to hear about us. So brand recognition is huge. Because then it starts to get to a point where people start talking, like word of mouth is better than any advertising you're ever going to have, ever. Somebody says you should work with this company, like half of my sale is done already. I don't have, half of the selling process is done. I don't have to, the trust factor is already there. So now we talk about how we can help, right?
Well, and I know that was a pretty big event. I think it was Tony Robbins and Martha Stewart
Yeah.
and several other people, big name people.
Yeah.
So Gina just came on. I think she said there was like 5 or 7 thousand people there. Uh,
Yeah, it was a lot of people. It was awesome, and it was for Patrick Bet David. If anyone on this call is familiar
yeah,
with who he
I
is,
like him. Yeah,
and yeah, it's his conference. It's called the Vault, and so it's an annual. I think it's annual, and this is the first time I've ever been, but met a lot of really cool people. It was cool.
yeah. Why don't we open it up to any other questions? We'll just try to be polite. We're a small group today. And that Jim, Sally, Vic. Hi, Gina. Oh, your microphone's
He's
okay.
typing. Yeah,
Okay.
let
Hi,
me check
Chris
the chat. So
from Vic.
Jen,
And I recognize the active work name, Vic, who we have talked. Hi, Chris. Curious on the motivations, reasons you started the company. Also, can you provide your email address so people can reach out to you?
yeah, I'll put it back I put it in the beginning, but if you weren't in the call, maybe you didn't see it. So, yeah, so the motivation to start the company started from a couple of different things actually. So I met my business partner Ryan about a year and a half ago at a networking event, and we had been talking since that when we first met. He had a different business partner at the time, so without going in through all the weeds of all the things, that didn't work out, but he still wanted to go down the path. And so he still is a realtor. And he had hired a lot of virtual assistants through his career as a realtor for him and for his team. He runs a brokerage. So he's got like a handful of people that sell under him. And so he noticed that there was a kind of a hole in the market where people were getting virtual assistants, but they weren't able to like find them. They couldn't communicate with them. They weren't doing what they needed to do. And it was hard for people to like actually have like accessibility to these people. And then also getting them to like training them and teaching them what him and his team needed. So he figured out pretty quickly that he was good at that. So he was like, why don't I do this as a company? So the initial Synergist started as a placement agency. Like we started as a virtual assistant placement agent. That's what we were doing. We noticed during that path, like we kind of determined I was in staffing prior. That's how I know about Activated Workfix. So I worked for a small boutique shop called Interpros. We were doing mostly technical staffing. And so that was my history before I started this company. But I've also been in sales. I've sold tech, I've sold SaaS. I've sold 401k plans. I've sold a variety of eyeglasses. I've sold a variety of things in my career. And so when we got together and we kind of banged our heads together, I was like, well, dude, I know staffing for Americans and I know how to like sell things. He's like, well, why don't you run sales? And he's like, and I'll just be the ops guy and I'll run that. And so that's where it started from. But then we've kind of learned through the process. We're like, hey, these people are awesome. I don't want to just hire them and then let them go. I want to keep them on a staff for us. And maybe we train them to do some of the stuff and we can just run the whole thing. So we're like, let's just run it. Let's just be in charge. So instead of letting people go, we're like, okay, they're going to stay with us. We'll train them as much as we can. And then the company has to train on their end. We'll train them for our processes. And then the company has to train based on whatever they need because we don't know what their needs are as well. And that's kind of how it was born. And so we've found other avenues of things that we're really good at in the process, like the nonprofit side. We determined that through working with people like, hey, we have a copywriter that's really good. We could probably find a grant writer. So we went and found somebody like, oh, look, there's grant writers all over the Philippines. So now we have grant writers on staff. It's pretty cool. So we're able to give people what they need at a price point that's like manageable. They can swallow. I mean, okay, I can afford you. That's great. If you can help me get this grant for $100,000, yeah, I'll pay you $25 an hour to write the grant. I'm like, great. It's everyone wins, right? So yeah, that's kind of where it was born. It was born out of necessity almost in the market, and then became a greater good almost. We're like, we can do better, we can do more good for people if we keep them with us. So that's kind of where it started from. Thanks. That was a good question. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other questions?
Gina, are you able to join us?
Jim, you put a note out. Was that a question or is that more of a statement?
No, that's what I need some help with. So that's a low hanging fruit that I could easily outsource.
You have a lot of Jim's question, so everyone, it was a direct message to me. He said, it sounds like you have like several business cards and you want to be able to take a picture of them and get those put into like a Google sheet or some sort of spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll give you a spreadsheet to put them in, but so I can import them into my contact management. There's some of them.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. So, dude, honestly, the way that I found that works best is just use ChatGPT. So you can lay those out onto your desk.
really?
Put them in rows. You could do like 12 at a time or 20 at a time. And then take a picture with your smartphone. Make sure it's pretty clear.
Right.
Take a picture of all of them at once and then upload that into ChatGPT and say, I want you to pull the name and tell ChatGPT exactly what you're looking for. I want the first name, last name, email address, phone number, company name, address, whatever the things are. Put that into a CSV and it'll do it. And that you can just go, it'll take you some time, but that's a task that like, if you outsource it to us, you still got to take all the pictures. You might as well just throw it in ChatGPT and let it do it for you. I think it'll.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah, I hadn't thought about using AI for that.
Yeah, it does work pretty well. And you got to, if it doesn't do it the first time, you just have to tell it in a different way and give it more color around what you're looking for. But yeah, it should be able to do it for you.
I use Perplexity instead of ChatGPT, and I wrote a job description yesterday. We're hiring a production manager because my production manager took his dream job, which it's like we're really excited for him for that, but we're not excited for us.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I get this call, I'm going back out working on production instead of on what I need to be working on. But that's what pays the bills and pays my paycheck too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I wrote the job description, ran it through Perplexity, made a few mods, got a fantastic, great, good quality following Rocky Mountain Employer Council's format and everything else. And
very cool.
Gave it to my HR and said, find me somebody yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So, so I would just put them on your desk, take a picture, make sure it's a clean shot. And then Perplexity could probably handle it just as well as ChatGPT. Perplexity works. It thinks of it differently. It does things differently, but it should still be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. One of the things with photography, Jim, is you got to worry about reflections. I got this the eagle metal print that we were talking about, and I was taking a photo, and I had no lights behind me, but I was picking up a reflection almost like a mirror, and I could see it very subtly. So you have to look at it, and but it should be able to be cleaned up fairly easily.
I do a lot of photography like that. So yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
You can do it one at a time with the business cards. It just takes way longer. So I would put out a bunch of them. So yeah.
Well, I have a flatbed scanner. I could lay them out on that, scan them.
That would be
Without the
better.
coloration, a lot
Yeah.
higher resolution, and
Yep.
probably
That would be the best.
taking the pictures, you know. So
Sure.
yeah, I'll do that.
We have a system that we set up internally, which we could do for you too, if this is something you care about. Do you have a CRM that you use right now?
Do I have?
Yeah. Do you have a CRM for your company?
Well, I'm using the Go High Level.
Yeah. So with Go High Level, we have we integrated Slack. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Slack, but we integrated Slack into it. And so I can take a picture of a business card anytime I'm out and about, and just snap a picture and I put it in Slack. And then my team takes that and throws it through a automation. It just, I think it even just happens on its own now. The automation has ChatGPT read it and it creates a contact in Go High Level. So like, I don't end up with piles, because I used to have that. They used to collect dust on my desk, just like yours, right?
Yeah.
All rubber band together, and like one day I'll talk to those people. I don't know. And so
Someday never comes.
yeah, the day never comes. Well, that's the thing. The fortune's in the follow up, as we all know, but it's so hard to do that, because you're out networking and doing all the things, meeting people, and then you get home and you're like, I have too much to do. I can't focus on that right now. So we try to make stuff easy around here for us, and we can do the same for anyone that wants to talk about those things.
Cool.
Hey, other questions for Chris today? A couple business notes. Conferences coming up. If you're not registered yet, we'd love to see you. I have some interesting people. I've talked to several other people that are pretty pleased with themselves with the folks that are coming, and we'd like to be able to introduce you. I will be speaking on Speakers Live tomorrow, which should be fun. We'll be talking about the veterans group as a whole, tied into what we're trying to accomplish here with the Veterans Mastermind is helping those that have served us transition into their own business. And while we may not all have been veterans, and that most of us knew a veteran or a LEO, a law enforcement officer, first responder, and they served our country. And we want to help them succeed so that they can develop their own enterprise. And as I state to people, then the obligation goes on to them. They need to give back also. For those of us that did not serve, being able to open up that channel for you, whatever your offer is, we would like to see you put a veteran's bow on the box, and that those guys and gals that wore the jacket, as I refer to it, they've been in a community. Cops don't go to biker bars, cops go to cop bars, and that veterans go to American Legion or VFW. They hang out. Even if there was a different branch, they still get along for the most part. So we're trying to develop comfortability for people to cross over those lines and come into the civilian world, to a community that may not understand what they went through, but to bring them into the fold so they can succeed themselves, but also contribute in another way. Any parting thoughts? Thanks for putting your information in there, Chris.
Yeah, I dropped my contact info in the chat. So if anyone wants to continue a conversation around how we could support and help you. And then also I have a couple of networking events coming up. And if you're in Denver, Jim, looks like you're in Wyoming, but if you're in Denver and want to do some networking, we've got 2 events this month. So feel free to attend those events. They're always free. So yeah.
Excellent.
I
Well,
might be in Denver, but I do get down that way once in a while when I can't avoid it.
Fair.
I don't remember which one. Maybe it was your happy hour that I went to last month
Yeah, it was.
downtown.
Yep.
That was awesome. I really enjoy the meetup style of groups. Most people are aware that they want to communicate. If they don't initiate conversation, it's not going to happen. Um, and I met several people at your event. Parking wasn't the best,
Nice.
but
Yeah,
but
parking's rough
at
at
my
that
age,
one.
walking 5 blocks is like, oh, okay.
It's not bad if it's not raining. Sorry
Yes,
about that.
it was raining, but it's
Yeah.
only water. And
Max showed up soaking wet, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, sorry
yeah,
about that."
you know.
So that was in proper state. So these events are called Genius Networking, and so for Genius Networking, we have events at least one a month, and it's the happy hour. We usually get over 100 people to show up to those events, and it's fun. There's a lot of business owners that show up. It's a good time. There's good people in the room, so I would recommend if you're around and want to come meet some cool people, it's a good place to do that. This month, we're doing it at Woods Boss. So it's not the same location you were at. They actually have a parking lot. It's a little bit different. So still downtown, but it's a little bit easier to get in and out of.
Well, I was impressed because I actually met people that were doing veteran services, but
Yeah.
they drove down from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
I've done that trip. I had stores in
Yeah.
Omaha. That's 500 miles to come to an event.
Yeah.
That means something good is going on, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And it only takes one. I think most of us know Jason Miller. I was talking to him last week, and I was asking about an event that's going to be out in Scottsdale here in a couple months. And his first comment, well, yeah, it was fun, but I didn't really meet anybody. And then he said, well, I did meet the guy that we're making the movie with that was part of the OJ sports memorabilia robbery, but he was like the only one. I said, all it takes is one, you know? Not only are you selling all of his sports memorabilia, but now you're making a movie with him. What more do you want?
Yeah, for sure. It's not quantity, it's quality. But what's great about the events, and I'll take a tiny bit of credit for the events that I host. Like I am the founder and the host of these events, but it's because I ask people that show up to come back and bring friends. It's the only thing I've ever really done. I've promoted it a little bit over the course of the last 2 years. We have about 2,000 members now. But it's not because of me. It's more that people want to get out of their house. Like post COVID, they just want to meet people, right? And so we started with a pretty good core group of people that I had met and networked with, and I was like, "Hey, come and hang out with me. Let's go start a thing." But since then, it's grown into a bunch of people I don't know. Like almost every time I have an event, I don't know most of the people anymore, which is awesome. And they always say like, "I met so many cool people," and I'm like, "Great, come back and bring a friend." Like that's what I always say, just come back and bring a friend. And so that's how we've grown, and it's been beneficial for everyone that gets to come to these events. So yeah, that's really it's for everyone. It's not for me at all. So I'm glad to be part of it. It's really cool.
All right, guys. Well, we're up against our time frame here. We do this every Tuesday. Next week, we're going to have Jill Lubin as our guest speaker. Jill helps with promotion. If you want to have what you do seen on Fox or CNN or write a book or all the publicity stuff that's out there, she's a pretty remarkable lady. And
She's got a whole series on guerrilla marketing, guerrilla publicity, how to create a press release that people will actually read. She's amazing. I've known Jill for a lot of years, and don't miss that one. It's a good one to be at. I will miss it. I'll be in Michigan on the road. So, but
Well, that's the nice thing about Zoom. And that you can we may not see your smiley face, but you can always listen.
potentially.
Yes, yes. All right, guys, I'm going to end this now. Chris, thank you again. I appreciate you coming on, and
Yeah, thanks, Mac. Appreciate
we're going to talk more. Vic, we got to catch back up and make sure that I recognize you right off the next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.